Alright, Scott, let's see if we can get a quick video here put together for you. When you're looking at the model from the side, you're basically going to be able to use the blue as the attack angle. So if you want to show a little bit more down, I just like to bend that a little bit more down towards the floor. You got the red angle here ultimately going to be used for your ability to show dynamic loft. The second we flip it over to this kind of two-dimensional look, we're getting away from the dynamic loft and the attack angle. The red's now going to start to really signify, your face angle, open or closed, and then how much open or closed is what you're going to be using is just right off of this actual target line, being the white line here. Your blue now at this point is ultimately going to be your path. So if I wanted to create something that was a little inside out with a little bit of a closed face, the three-dimensional properties of the tool now can be turned around and help a person see how the D-plane now has been tilted from flat, and therefore again very much affecting the overall spin axis of the ball. Black line being there. Don't look at that line as something going around there. That was just necessary to do because the ball does spin on me. So we're just looking at that as a black line straight across the ball that the ball would ultimately be turning back around. If we switch things around, maybe more of a path down the line and a face down the line, you can really start to see that the ball stays flat and the ball therefore would fly flat. If we get a little bit over the top, common occurrence as we teach everybody, face left a little bit open, you can ultimately see that the ball spins more with a tilt to the right and is going to fly with a slice. Looking at this stuff from varying angles is something that the students seem to really like. But ultimately, you're just looking at, when TrackMan uses the words of club orientation and club direction is just the blue. It just depends on which, view you're looking at things from. If you're looking at it from the side, that club direction is now referring to your attack angle down or maybe up. I like to use this a lot when I get into a driver conversation. I can show people, a mistake that's common, maybe a little or outside in, a little bit open face. And ultimately you can see the effect of the ball on the tilt with the D-plane. But when you get into things like a lower lofted conversation, I'm not changing the mistake of face or path. It's just ultimately the lack of loft that a driver may have versus like a sand wedge. And you can see that's generally why most people don't like their driver and have a tendency to like a little bit more of a short iron. Because that short iron will ultimately, with a lot of loft, make that ball fly a lot straighter. Excuse me, keep knocking the table here. So as that ball is now here, the sand wedge doesn't really seem to have maybe show much of an issue. And again, the driver will be a complete opposite. The bead can be pulled tight and locked into the bottom here in case you're doing a very small spin loft type of conversation where there's not going to be much spacing in between here. If you want to open up the spin loft, basically unlock that bead and you can open up that much more. Ultimately, I hope that helps you, and if not, let me know and I can try to do something a little bit more as well. I got a little bit of time today.